The Take-Home Message. November 9, 2020 by Anna von Reitz. First, you are being presumed to be a donor of everything you are and everything you think you own to a public charitable trust. How quaint. If this isn't true, it's high time that you stood up and kicked your employees to the curb and explained that no, you didn't ever leave or go anywhere, and you certainly didn't abandon your assets and property interests, didn't adopt any foreign political status, and didn't ask them to form any trusts, public or private, in your names. Their presumptions about your political status choices are all wrong, too. If you are an average American, you didn't choose to be a British Territorial U.S. citizen, nor did you knowingly and willingly and voluntarily sign up to be a municipal citizen of the United States, either. In fact, those suppositions about your political status choices are irrational, because you would have no reason to accept such decidedly inferior status, absent a federal corporation paycheck and a fat benefits package. Now, there are some Americans who willingly adopt such foreign territorial and municipal political statuses. People who join the U.S. military work as indentured servants for a period of years known as a tour of duty, and while engaged in military service, they voluntarily adopt territorial U.S. citizenship. And those who choose to work for the Federal Civil Service adopt the status of a public slave and act as citizens of the United States for the duration of their employment, too. But if you are Joe Average American, you aren't any such species of federal employee or dependent, and probably are stunned to learn that you were ever mistaken for anyone or anything but an American. Well, here's your wake-up call. Your federal employees have conspired to rob you blind, and the foreign principals responsible for misdirecting them have acted in gross breach of trust. So here we are, having this little discussion about capital-level war crimes taking place on our shores at the hands of our employees and purported allies. You, Americans, are the employers and they, federal citizens of both species, are the employees, but they have been working a bizarre double-ended impersonation scheme against you. If you are Joe Average, you are the victim of a complex institutionalized con job designed to steal your identity and your credit and your assets. And this constructive, self-serving fraud was done while these people were on your payroll, taking their checks out of your pockets, and while they owed you their oaths and good faith service, too. To be fair, most of them had no idea that they were doing any such thing. They were just following orders, like the guards in the Nazi concentration camps. The perpetrators also sought to evade their obligations owed to you under both the Constitution of the United States of America, territorial employees, and the Constitution of the United States, municipal employees. That is, they colluded and conspired to evade their obligations and so undermined both constitutions after swearing to uphold them against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. You see, by denying and falsifying your identity and mischaracterizing you as a U.S. citizen and/or citizen of the United States, they deprived you of your constitutional guarantees and evaded their constitutional duties in one easy step. U.S. citizens have no constitutional rights or guarantees. Neither do municipal citizens of the United States. So long as you are mistaken for either one, neither do you have any constitutional rights or guarantees. In fact, as long as you let them pretend that your name is a public trust property, they can send their lawyers to your house and take anything they want, including taking you to jail and prosecuting you under their private corporations law and at their judges' discretion. As many of you have learned the hard way. Both the territorial United States and the municipal United States have been operating as commercial corporations in the business of providing governmental services for the better part of a century and a half. So when they hold an election for their offices of president of their respective corporations, that's all the fro and Democrat v. Republican nonsense is all about: a private corporation election where our employees and dependents choose their leadership for the next 4 years. Oh, but you say you aren't a federal employee or dependent? Right. So, you aren't a shareholder in those corporations and not an official or appointed officer or employee of those corporations, either, so you shouldn't be voting in those elections. You should be casting ballots in your own elections and acting as electors, not voters. You should be populating your own state assembly, not attending your employees' district assemblies. And you should be telling your employees, as the purported donor of the fraudulent constructed trust they are sucking dry, where to get off. Oh, and about the idea of Joe Biden and Ms. Harris being president and vice president of any municipal corporation having a contract with you? No, not. You see, you are the employers. They are the employees. And whether or not they cheated themselves blind and broke their own laws and acted as common criminals, which is really nothing new for them, to steal an election, that election itself is meaningless in the face of the actual states and people, present and accounted for. We aren't bound by employee popularity contests, whether crooked or honest. We just told the other principals that we, the employers, don't accept their offer of Biden as the president of anything but a prison cell block. Absent getting this straightened out, they don't have a service contract, either. Go to www.theamericanstatesassembly.net and get a grip. Remember who you are and get started down the road home.
Links to Anna's articles and resources can be found in the video description box. Thank you for subscribing, liking and sharing.